Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit off the cuff. I've got you attached to my computer right now, and we are going to go through my fashion inspiration Pinterest boards from 2015 to 2018. Firstly, I just think that this is going to be something fun to do. This is something that I like to do, like go back and look at these boards. It was sort of the inspiration to doing it in the first place, was to be able to have something that I can look back on over the years and reflect. I wanted to be able to track how my fashion taste changed over time. In 2015, I was 21, and this was a time in my life where I really started to think pretty deeply about my personal style and what I liked to wear, and really trying to hone my own taste. So I thought it'd be fun to go back and dissect these boards and maybe make some judgments on my past choices and style taste. This isn't scripted. I haven't looked at these boards in a really long time, so you're going to get my off the cuff, firsthand thoughts on this. I have been scrambling to finish a paper that I'm writing for publication right now, so I just have not had any bandwidth to write anything this week. So this is what we're doing. But I promise we're gonna have fun. So let's get into it. All right, so here we are. This is the spring summer 2015 fashion inspo board. This was the board that started it all. This was the first one that I ever made. And since then, I've done 2 a year. I do one board for the spring and summer and one board for the fall winter, which kind of carries over from one year to the next. And I usually start the board for the next season at the beginning of the current season. So right now it's April. We're about to be in the spring summer. So right now I will actually start my board for the upcoming fall winter season so that I have the whole season to kind of think about what I'm interested in wearing this upcoming winter. Let's start by just like scrolling through, I guess. Right off the bat, I'm seeing just a lot of different style tastes, a lot of denim, a lot of blue denim. I will say I don't really wear blue denim anymore because that doesn't really feel authentic to me. But for the time period for 2015, I would say blue denim was pretty on point. A lot of stripes. I've always been like a stripe wearer. Honestly, just right off the bat, looking at these pictures, I would wear a good amount of these outfits still today. Oh man, this outfit is so 2015, so twee. I love that. And twee is not my style, but clearly I was influenced by the style of the time. Got a little flowers in the hair. Flower crowns were a big thing back then. All right, we're seeing a lot of like white, a lot of black, a lot of like neutral tones. This is really authentic to what I like to wear. I think that I realized that I like to mostly only wear black or like neutral tones. First, when I was in like high school, I think, and that was before I really started putting a lot of time into thinking about fashion. And back then was the really popular like fashion advice or style advice that was like, if you love something, buy multiples of it. And I distinctly remember buying multiples of things and then being like, I still only want to wear the black version. I only grab for the black version. That sort of experience is kind of why I really don't abide by that like fashion rule. I mean, I would understand if you wanted to like buy two black ones because you wear them all the time and you want one to wear while it's in the wash, but like to buy a rainbow of colors, unless you really wear a rainbow of colors, I would not recommend it because that stuff will just get unworn. So I'm seeing a lot of like shift dresses. Those have always been kind of like authentic to my fashion taste. It's funny because I think a lot of this at the time was aspirational for me because I did not have a wardrobe that looked like this. And I think that a lot of the clothes that I wear nowadays kind of look like this. And I think I've come a pretty long way, honestly, just like looking through this. I think that my wardrobe today really does have a lot of these pieces that I'm seeing in these pins here. A lot of stripes still. Stripes were just like my thing back then. I wore a bunch of stripes and I don't really have too many of the things that I wore in 2015 still. So I could bear to bring in a bit more stripes into the rotation because I think I kind of forgot how much I love that print. Okay, any outfit with heels, immediately not realistic for me, not realistic for my lifestyle. I like pretty much only wear like platforms if I'm wearing a heel or like a platform. I mean, I'll wear a heel for like an event, like a wedding or something, but that's really like the only place that I wear a heel anymore. It's just I just prefer comfort. A lot of just like denim and a top I'm seeing. I really love these like wide legs. These wide legs are so cute. This outfit is also, this is very hipster, very 2015 over here. I'm seeing a lot of like what can be categorized as thinspo. And maybe this is a good moment to like just touch on the fact that 2015 was a totally different time period for like body image. I think it's pretty pertinent because we see a lot of it coming back now with like the advent and rise of Ozempic. We've been seeing a lot of thinspo and a lot of like celebrities, presenting really thin. And so I just want to call that out. I'm not perfect. Like I definitely was a person on the internet in the 2010s, and I fully succumbed to the thinspo, just like a lot of women my age in their late teens, early 20s. One, I can recognize that now in hindsight, and two, like I don't support it nowadays. So, we're dissecting this in context for the year that I created this. So, apologies for the thinspo guys. Like I don't think that that's a way that anybody should be living their life, upholding these sorts of body standards. It's not realistic. It's not healthy. Just wanted to get that out of the way. A lot of shift dresses. This is a really large board. I think I must have spent a long time like putting this thing together because there's a lot of pins on here. A lot of Converse. I used to love Converse. I wore my Converse all the time in this period of my life. I don't really wear them so much anymore because they are a little bit too tight. They pinch my feet a little bit. That just comes with style evolving with age, I guess. I would probably wear like 75% of these outfits still. They don't really seem that dated to me, honestly. Seeing a lot of black, blue, white, browns, neutral tones, things that I would still definitely wear today. Okay, so we've reached the end of the board for 2015. Overall, it's a lot better than I thought it was in terms of like fashions that I would still wear. I mean, some of these like mega crop tops I wouldn't really wear anymore. And maybe like these sorts of like really put together styles, like something like this, I probably wouldn't wear, but like a button-up shirt and a pair of skinny jeans. I stand by my skinny jeans. I don't have currently a pair that I really like have in high rotation right now just because I don't have any skinny jeans that fit me, or I used to have a pair that fit me like a glove, but I tore them when I was dancing too hard a few years ago. So I just haven't purchased another pair, but I firmly stand by skinny jeans, and I will still rock them to this day. Although these days I'd stick with the high waisted. I think at this time I was like lacking a lot of basics. I think that I didn't even have anything like that in my wardrobe at this time, which is why I think you see a lot of this. It seems really basic, but I was laying the groundwork for my style. Like I was just trying to figure it out. And I think that I was trying to pin things that I really wanted to wear, but it's not necessarily things that I owned. I think that this shows a really good like consistency in my taste over the years. This sort of pencil skirt was really popular at the time. I used to have one. I had a denim one and I had, well, it was denim. I had a blue denim one and I had in like pumpkin orange denim one. That one went off really hard. That was a really good skirt. And I think it might have been like one of my first Madewell purchases back in the day, but unfortunately, they're just too restricting for me nowadays. I think I realize that it's too fussy. I don't really like a fussy skirt. So these sort of like high-waisted, like tight skirts are not really in my wheelhouse anymore. However, something like this, a little bit looser, a little bit more casual, I would consider wearing that. Who doesn't love a little denim baby doll pinafore like overall dress? Those were super popular at this time, and I think it was around this time that I purchased a black one, which I think I like sold it to Crossroads or something like years and years ago, which I'm really regretting right now in hindsight because I think that I could still rock that style, but what are you gonna do? And then something like this, like maximalism, like floral, like in your face jumpsuit. That I wouldn't wear that nowadays. And I think that you can see just by looking at the rest of this board that that outfit doesn't really go with the like majority of things in this board. So I think it's a way to kind of see what was really in tune with my true fashion tastes and what was like me just kind of liking a trend. And then to top it off, like this chunk of like long maxi skirts with like a tucked in sweater. It's just like too put together for me. And I think at the time I didn't really know that, but now I do. But honestly, 2015, not that bad. It is like very basic stuff that I've been pinning, but like it was aspirational at the time. It was things that I didn't own. So let's go look at 2016. Okay, here you see those high-waisted denim skirts again. Clearly that style stuck with me for a little while. Here, like this color on the left here, that is like almost the exact color of the one that I had. It's just a little off. It's a little too coral for the one that I actually had. I think also here you see a little bit of my start of like my love for embroidery and fiber arts. It's so funny because this is 2016. So this is, I would have been pinning it in fall, winter of 2015, 2016. This was before I went back to school, and I went back to school for fashion and textile studies. And at this point, I wasn't like a fashion person. Internally, I was a fashion person. I loved it. I loved the runway. I loved the editorials. It all just really spoke to me, but I wasn't like educated in fashion, or I didn't really consider myself stylish at the time as well. So it's funny to see like my growing taste for these things that have come to like define my current life. It's just nice to see my like fledgling interest in these things. I'm seeing, funny enough, like a lot more prints right off the bat. I'm noticing a lot more prints. You see the stripes, that carries through, but like a lot of these micro florals, that's a macro floral, but a lot of these micro floral prints, those to me speak as really trendy to the time, and it's not something that I would wear today, honestly. And I actually think these micro florals are coming back into style because you're seeing tweed come back into style, which was right around this like 2012 to 2014 period. For me, I just know that that's not like my taste anymore. At this time, I don't really think that I had that much good denim. Like, honestly, I'm trying to think back, and I don't think that I had like any good denim. So that probably explains why you see a lot of it in these boards, because I think I was trying to figure out what type of denim I was drawn to and what I wanted to wear. A lot of like graphic tees. The only graphic tee that I still have in my collection that isn't like a band t-shirt is a graphic tee that I bought from Urban Outfitters in this time period of my life. Some of these florals I would still wear though, like this is pretty cute, but I'm still kind of seeing an outfit like this. Like this is something that is that put together, almost like preppy look that really I just do not feel comfortable in something like that. I feel much more comfortable in something like this, a slouchy button up tucked into a pair of denim pants. You're still seeing a lot of 70s influence, like these bell-bottom flares in my taste here. And that has been a through point my whole life. Like 70s style, hippie style, that is authentic to me as a person. And I just think that that's always going to be the case. And look, another little pinafore dress there. And I like that you can see like the consistency year over year of like the trends. It's an interesting way for me, I think, to figure out, is this just a trend and I'm attracted to it because it's a trend? Or is it also something that like intrinsically speaks to my personal style? Because I'm not against participating in trends. I just really personally only want to participate in trends that are something that I want to keep wearing once something's not trendy anymore. Especially nowadays with like the micro trend world that we live in, I find that there's a short window where something becomes pretty popular online, and that's when I'm like first drawn to it, when I first see it. and then you start seeing it everywhere. And really quickly, that makes me just not want to wear something. Like if I were to buy into a trend really early and it gets oversaturated, that alone has the capacity to make me not want to wear something ever again. So I guess I know myself enough to know that, like, hold off, wait for it to like get out of the spotlight a little bit. And then if I still like it, then I know, it's made for me. A lot of these mini skirts, which like at the time were really cute, but I'm just, I'm not into minis right now. A lot of stripes, a lot of button up tops. I did not have a lot of button up tops at this time period. So that was aspirational for me and something that I wanted to collect more of over the years. A lot of white tops and pants. Honestly, white tops and blue pants. That was like, I feel like that's like so like American Apparel core, which was huge at this time period. I really don't, I'm not super drawn to that look anymore. Just because of the like blue denim. Honestly, I would still wear the outfit if it's like with a pair of white pants or gray or black. So I guess it's not truthful to say that I'm not drawn to it anymore, just like not this specific iteration of it. A lot of prints that I wouldn't necessarily wear anymore. Oh my God, this like headband that is so 2014 still. So a lot of prints that I still wouldn't wear, something like this, or like this. Not really anything that would appeal to me nowadays, but there's a lot that does appeal to me, like something like this, shades of brown, little baby doll dress. I love baby doll dresses. Neutral tones in this skirt, I would absolutely rock that to this day. All right, and we've reached the end of 2016. This one was a pretty good year, I'd say. A lot more color this year than the previous year, which was a little surprising because I don't really wear a lot of color. Okay, on to 2017. Let's do it. Okay. This is when I remember those like shearling coats with like they had the shearling trim on the collar. Those were really popular at this time. And I think I still am really into that style, but like a black denim version. There's a Levi's black denim one with like a cream shearling collar that I've been eyeballing. A lot of these micro floral prints again, those are carrying through to 2017. That's something that I wouldn't wear this dress here, not the kind of print that I would want to wear. Something like this print also reads really dated to me for some reason, like these long stripes. I'm not sure why. Some nice, really like lived in pieces on my board, which is something I always look for when I thrift pieces. It's like also the feel of it, not necessarily the feel, like the hand touch, but like the vibe of the garment. Does it just feel like it's gonna just get comfier and comfier the more that I wear it? Like something like this picture really like exemplifies that to me, or something like this really like lived in cotton like shirt dress just really appeals to me. Like I would wear this dress today. The hats to me are still a little dated. Like I'm not like a fedora person. I do like to wear like a nice wide brim like straw sun hat in the summer, but I'm not a fedora person. Mustard is a color that I like really stay away from. It was really popular. You see these pants, these mustard pants. Also coral. Coral and mustard are two colors that were like really popular, I think, in this like these years, this period of time. And I just like don't like wearing coral or mustard. Like I've had so many different pieces in those colorways that I don't ever purchase anything that are in those colorways nowadays. It's just not for me. More overalls, those have been a through line, versions of overalls at least. These are pretty like cute, airy outfits. Like a lot of these I would still wear, not the micro florals, but like this loose like cotton button up like dress thing. This like looks like a linen dress, like these breezy, like this is all very true to my personal style. I would still wear that today. You're also seeing a lot more button-ups in these boards. Button-ups are something that I had to have like a light bulb go off in my head about, that like that's a cut of garment that I love to wear and that I really feel comfortable in, like a slouchy button up. So you'll see more and more of those sorts of things repeating where I'm realizing I really like how this looks. Some of these things like the cuts, like the cut of this dress, I wouldn't gravitate towards like a dress in that cut anymore. Something like this also reads a little bit too sweet for me. I try to trend like less sweet in my style nowadays. I love this little like hippie button up. I remember this picture, honestly. Like some of these are like ringing a bell because I remember pinning them. A lot of like crop tops with some wide like pants, something like this. I would wear that today. I have that outfit in my wardrobe. Not exactly, but like a version of it. I've got like a version of this in my wardrobe. These kinds of outfits, like a little crop top and like a rolled cuff pant and like a pair of Vans. That was so me in 2016, 2017. I would still wear that outfit today. Honestly, I think those slip-on Vans are having a moment this year from what I see online, and for good reason. I don't think these aren't the slip-ons in the photo, but I had a pair of slip-on Vans they had this really beautiful and fun like sunflower print. And honestly, those were the best shoes. Like I would honestly easily rock another pair of Vans slip-ons. I think at this point, I also didn't have like a pair of everyday like white sneakers that I wore. Like that's why I'm seeing a lot of these sneakers. I was trying to figure out like what am I missing essentially? Like what's missing from my wardrobe? And I would look at these pictures and I'd say, okay, well, I don't have a pair of white sneakers, but I see that recurring over and over again. A lot of 70s inspired styles again. You see these like the bell bottoms in this really nice like jumpsuit. This like ringer style tee is very 70s. The striped top with the high-waisted pants are very 70s. I think that that's just always going to be a part of my identity. A lot of blue denim. A lot of blue denim. Here we've got some black denim making its appearance. I'm seeing some granny floral prints right now that are like a little different than that really like dated micro floral print. And these ones I would still wear. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind a floral. It's just like I am only interested in a specific type of floral, really. All right, and that's the end of the board. Also have some like oversized cardigans here. That was very like, oh my God, what was the trend called on Tumblr? Art ho. I definitely loved art ho style. I and that's what like this outfit is definitely giving. An oversized cardigan is still a staple in my wardrobe to this day. So, who knows? Maybe I should try styling it with a little mini dress. It looks super cute. And that's 2017. We're almost caught up. Well, I've got a lot more boards, but I figured I would call it at 2018. I think it's more fun to look at these boards that I put together almost a decade ago. And on to 2018. Now we're really starting to see like I'm finding my way. Right off the bat, the color palette is just like blacks, browns, blues, earthy tones. That is absolutely true to who I am. Oversized, slouchy, yes, yes, yes. And a lot of these whites still, but they're kind of like, notice that they're like a little bit of a softer white or like a less harsh like than a bright white. Here I'm seeing more of like a vintage cotton white, a vintage linen white, something that I think is way more authentic to me right now. This kind of outfit, that is like something I think looks cuter in a photo than actually looks good on me, just me personally. I'm loving all of the like relaxed linens that I'm seeing, or like a relaxed blouse here. But in this photo, it's in more of the color palette that is authentic to me. So like an all black outfit, but it's got those bell sleeves and those bell bottoms. That's something I would wear right now. Some of these dress cuts are like pretty dated. Like I wouldn't wear those types of dresses nowadays. And also still those micro florals. They were just everywhere, man. Still seeing this preppy adjacent look. This isn't something that I really go for anymore. I'm seeing a lot of trousers in this board in comparison to the previous years, rather than it was like mostly denim. And I like that I was, clearly experimenting with thinking about different types of pants that I wanted to bring into the rotation. You still see slouchy button-ups. That's been a through line for me. And these stripes are pretty dated as well. Also, on the note of stripes, notice that I don't see any black and white stripes on this board. Not nearly as many as I wore in like 2015, 2016. So that's just an interesting thing to note. I think this was also around the time period that I started being really into like one-piece swimsuits. And so haven't really worn a bikini since. Look at that old school Cult Gaia bag. I really liked that Cult Gaia bag when they first came on the scene, but I'm kind of glad that I never got one because it does kind of look a little dated to me nowadays. High-waisted pants with a cropped top. That is a very me style. Still seeing lots of skinny jeans. Like I said, I stand by my skinny jeans. A lot of like singular pieces I'm finding in these photos rather than full outfits. It's like a top, a dress. This sort of style with the cardigan that's like tied at the bottom. There were so many tops that were like tied at the bottom at that time period. Actually, funny enough, this top that I'm wearing right now, which I mended in my Mend It Pile video, because the bottom of this shirt had a tie on it. And I cut the tie off, and it took me years to finish that hem. So that was probably, honestly, I probably purchased this around this time period in my life. And that's that. We've reached the end of the board. And you know, this was a really fun exercise for me. Honestly, I think I'm more surprised that so many of these styles still feel authentic to my personal style. And I'm still really interested and drawn to them. I wasn't expecting that. I think that that's a good thing. I think it means that this project was pretty successful and that it was able to help me hone down my style. And my wardrobe today does reflect a lot of these things. So that's all I've got for you. I hope you enjoyed this journey down memory lane as much as I did, and I will see you in the next video.